Hello, hello. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about my anime list and the supposed review bombing campaigns on it. This is currently coming up again because the current season of JoJo has taken the top spot. However, I do not think it will retain it, and I do not think it is because of a review bombing campaign. This used to be blamed on FMA, and now that Freerun is the top spot, it's being blamed on Freerun. However, I do not think that is the case. To be clear, there are motivated reviews. There's basically no reason to give a show a 1 if it's like an 8 plus, because a 1 is an indication of just complete excrement and not being technically competent. However, those motivated reviews are pretty evenly distributed, and in fact, FMA has more of them than a lot of other shows in that range because of fans who believe the conspiracies about FMA giving revenge ones. What I'm debunking is the idea that there is any sort of coordinated attack going on, and I think instead what we're seeing is a time discrepancy in when reviews occur. Essentially, superfans of the source material will give the series a 10 as soon as it is able to be reviewed on MAL, which is when episode 1 airs. However, viewers who enjoyed it but did not 10 out of 10 love it will generally wait to review it until the season ends, or may not even be watching it live and will trickle in even later. This means that you will get a series of 8 and 9 reviews as the season and as time goes on, and those will drag down the score. For a 9 plus show, remember, a 9 is a lowering rating. It will drop the score. So those are what drives the score. It's majority 8s, 9s, and 10s for all those shows above an 8 or a 9, and those are what drive it down. Essentially, currently, Steel Ball Run has 80% 10-star reviews. However, as lower reviews, and lower meaning an 8 or 9 trickle in, it will be lowered down, and it may fall below Freerun. It's also worth noting that HAL fuzzes out some amount of low scores due to supposed review bombing. If you compute your scores based on the data on the page, you'll get a lower score slightly, maybe like 0.1 points lower than what's actually listed on the page. And they have explicitly stated that they do something to combat review bombing. Another factor making me not believe of this conspiracy is how it changed targets. It is slightly more believable that FMA fans were review bombing everything than that FMA fans were review bombing everything, and then Freerun fans are now also review bombing everything. That's essentially 2 conspiracies in one, which is exponentially less likely. While I'm here, I'd also like to touch on a personal bugbear of mine with Mal Reviews, which is an old seasonal show called The Executioner and Her Way of Life. Anytime it comes up, someone will claim it was review bombed by the Chuds because a fake male lead was killed in the first episode. However, I don't think the scoring truly indicates that. It definitely does have a few more motivated reviews than other shows in that range, but even eliminating all the 1-star reviews doesn't drag it up that much. I simply think it's an okay to slightly below average show that has a slight controversy, which again I think is from like half a dozen accounts on Mal and Reddit. There's not a widespread hate base for this show. Anyway, end of the day, I don't think JoJo is going to be review bombed out of the top spot. If it falls, I think it will be 8s and 9s from fans, but not super fans, reviewing it as the season ends. We've seen this happen before. It even happened somewhat to Freerun, on top of happening to basically every other temporary top spot holder. It just so happened that Freerun was truly blessed enough that when it ended, the people giving those late reviews still gave it a lot of 10s, and that's what kept it above FMA, not a lack of review bombing. Anyway, that's all I've got. Like, subscribe, yada yada yada, or don't. See ya.